Okay, so this is part 2 of the digestive system. Now, the digestive system is also called the gastrointestinal tract, not tract. So add tract to your spelling list. Called the digestive tract. Also called the alimentary canal. Alimentary is elementary. So alimentary meaning nourishment. Now, medical professionals, gastroenterologist. So not a intestinologist. No. Gastroenterologist. Now again, entero usually means small intestine, but in this case it's talking about both the large and the small. So a gastroenterologist specializes in the GI tract, the GI, gastrointestinal. You may want to go to a nutritionist to help you eat better, find ways to use food for better nutrition, a nutritionist. A dietitian would be a specially trained person who plans nutrition programs for sick and healthy people. Dietitians, you hear of those working at hospitals, school systems, so larger organizations like nursing homes. So nutritionist versus dietitian. Now the functions. It's obviously responsible for digestion, the chemical breakdown of food so it can be absorbed. So it prepares the solids and liquids for absorption into the bloodstream. Turns food into nutrition, and also what goes in must come out. So eliminates the solid waste from the body. Now, for your information only, some of the digestive enzymes are used to break down substances so they can be absorbed easily. Complex proteins into amino acids, complex sugars into glucose, fat molecules into fatty acids. Now, major structures. Now, like the respiratory system is divided into the upper and lower tract, the digestive system is also divided into upper and lower tracts. So the upper is the oral cavity, the mouth, the pharynx, the throat, the esophagus, the food tube, and your stomach. The lower GI at its simplest is the small and large intestine. The large and small bowel would be the average person's term. Now, there are some accessory organs to help us digest food. The salivary glands, the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas. We'll talk about those in a bit. So, food enters the mouth, the oral cavity, and has to travel through this entire system until it comes out the anus. And again, this system is nice and neat in that the main organs are connected. So you can do a top-down approach. So make sure you know the pathway of food. So again, now this is more simple than you need to know. This chart is very simple. We need to broaden it a bit. But to start with, food enters the oral cavity, is swallowed by the throat, passes through the esophagus into the stomach, then to the small intestine, the large intestine, and then out the anal sphincter. So the oral cavity, also called the buccal cavity. So it holds food while we're chewing and swallowing. And again, we should chew with our mouths closed. And as we chew, the tongue moves the food along, around, mixes with the saliva, makes that ball-like mass called a bolus. And here's an important point. Physical breakdown of food begins in the oral cavity. So digestion actually begins in the mouth. Now, here's some structures. You know, you've got your teeth. There's the uvula. Oh, my little favorite little thing. There that is. I like that. Looks like a punching bag. Gingiva, your gums. You got a hard palate and a soft palate. Oropharynx is the part of the throat back by the mouth. You know, there's the tongue. Dorsum of the tongue. Isn't that interesting? So that's the back of the tongue. And labia would be your fancy word for lip. So lips protect the mouth from getting food that's too hot or too cold or too rough, supposedly. The cheeks the cheek muscles help us chew the food. The hard palate, the structure separating the nose. Now, again, you must know that the ridges on the roof are called rugae. Now, it should be ru-G. It should be pronounced ru-G. But so many people have said it's wrong so long that wrong is now right. So for testing purposes, rugae, rugae. So rugae are ridges. They're ridges. So we've got ridges on the roof of the mouth, ridges in the stomach, and ridges in the vagina if one is a female. There's a soft palate, the uvula. It doesn't just hang there. It helps with digestion and blocking off the mouth when we swallow, and also helps us make sounds. The gums hold the teeth. We'll talk more about the palatine tonsils. Tongue we need for our sense of taste, and also helps us with mastication and deglutition, moving that food around. Papillae. Papillae are these little rough elevations on the top of the tongue. Tastes are sweet, sour, salty, bitter. You might prefer one over the other. And then our teeth. You can't chew food without your teeth. Now, teeth come in two sorts. Primary or secondary. Which one do you think comes first? Yes. But primary teeth are called deciduous. Deciduous. So just like deciduous trees shed their leaves in the winter, unlike evergreens, deciduous teeth are our baby teeth. The second set that comes in are our permanent teeth. And I have been told by a dental hygienist that there is no reason with today's advances in dental care and over-the-counter things that we can do, there's no reason someone should have to have false teeth in today's society. So you decide if you think that's a fair statement or not. Now the tooth, the crown is what's visible. It's covered by enamel. The neck is just below the gum line, and the root, as you can imagine, is embedded in the jawbone. Now I've had people say that a root canal is very, very, very painful, and I've been fortunate enough, knock on wood, not to have that. So the crown, the neck, the root. Teeth, this is for your information only. The incisors are sharp edges to bite. The canines, like the dog, a canine grasp and tear. Molars crush and grind, and your premolars or your bicuspids crush and grind. Now, food for thought. Americans, last time I checked, spend $2 billion, that's billion with a B, dollars a year on dental products. This is stuff you can buy over the counter. Toothpaste, mouthwash, dental floss. And so there's some fun facts out there. But human beings have been interested in taking care of their teeth for centuries. They have found in ancient Egypt, they found toothbrush-like devices. Ancient China, same thing, toothbrush-like devices. So trying to keep them clean. And just like in today's American culture, white teeth has been a desirable beauty trait. Again, think about all the tooth whitening things that are out there. And look at an old movie from the 60s and 70s and even 80s, and look at how white the actors' teeth are. And now compare that to what you see on movies and TV today. So we're really hyped up about white teeth. But ancient people would do things to get their teeth white and shiny. Some of them a bit more strange than others, not like the Egyptians and Chinese with their little sticks. It is a fact that in the times of the ancient Romans, people would actually gargle with urine. Think about what is a tooth whitener? It's a bleach, and so urine has bleach-like properties. And I read somewhere that if you were a Roman of well-to-do means and you wanted your white teeth, you would try to buy Portuguese urine because that supposedly gave better results. Now, that trend of gargling, well, not gargling is not the right word, using urine as mouthwash, that continued all the way up into the times of the French kings. But you can imagine you'd have nice white teeth as a young person, but acid, bleach corrodes, and then as an older person, the teeth would rot. But they did not associate the urine with tooth loss. Everyone had bad teeth. They just thought it was everyone would always have bad teeth. They didn't know they were contributing to their own torture. So here's a website about tooth